they shoelace tackle me, and about six guys were holding me down, beating me up.
Where did combat sports start in your life?
So in the eighth grade, for Christmas, I got some Jordans. Um, and in my area, when I grew up in Vallejo, California, which is a suburb of San Francisco, Oakland, and Richmond, tucked in the San Francisco Bay Area. So out where I'm from, Jordans were like super hot, and I got a pair for Christmas, and couldn't believe it. Was so excited, put them on. Went straight to my Nerf basketball hoop and started slam dunking with my tongue out like Michael Jordan. So, because I enjoy playing basketball. So, the very next school day, I went to school, and as I was walking during one of the passing periods, uh, a group of five guys to the right of me were like, "Hey, yo, break yourself off for them Jays." And I'm like, "Ooh, that didn't sound too nice, too kind." So I just scurried away from that, And so I was getting verbally bullied for my shoes. So that was one thing, and then during a open gym, which is after school, I decided to go play a couple hours basketball, and so I had my Jordans on. I took them off and put my other basketball shoes on because I wanted to keep my Jordans nice and fresh and clean. So put them in my backpack, hid them underneath the bleachers, and played basketball. And then when I was done, I put them back on, and I walked home. Well, as I was walking home, I had to walk through this pathway, and I had a chain link fence on one side and a brick wall on the other side, and it was about 200 yards long. And so as I was walking through this pathway, I hear people behind me, and I notice people behind me all the time, and I walk down this pathway like every day to school. So as I was walking, I hear people running behind me, and as I get halfway through, they're running, and I look behind me, and they're looking at me, and not in a nice way. And so I started running, and I took two steps, but they're already about 8 feet to me. And so two steps, all these emotions that were within me. And so I try pushing up, and I get kicked in the face. I try fighting, I get kneed in the body, and people are just holding me down and peeling the shoes off my feet. And so as I wake up, because I was knocked out, and I don't know how long I was out for, I wake up in a pool of my own blood, and so I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is crazy. And then I walk home barefoot and afraid and ashamed, and my parents were still working at the time, so I went home and cleaned off my face, and noticed I had a scrape on my side of my cheek, and I had a black eye on my other side, and just try to fix my face up as much as I could before my parents came home, And then as my father came home, he had asked me, "Mark, what happened?" And I was ashamed, and so I didn't want him to know. And so I said, "Dad, I was playing with my friends in the backyard, and hit the ground, and someone fell on top of me." And so kind of lied about it, And so I faked being sick for about a week, and my parents felt my forehead and said, "You're not sick, go back to school." And so I went back to school, and I'm going to give you some statistics here. Over 160,000 kids every day get bullied, And so if you do the math, that's like 2.8 million kids a year get bullied in the United States of America every day, And so I was one of those kids, and I was afraid, and I was afraid that was going to happen again. So so that's why I didn't want to go back to school, So I was fearful. And so when my parents said go back to school, I went back to school, and I was one of those kids that looked down and didn't want to look anybody in the eye, because if I looked them in the eye, I felt like that they saw me, and I wanted to be invisible, you know. So I was looking down, going class to class, and so during lunchtime, I went to this classroom. It was my algebra class, and was just doing my homework, and a friend of mine came up to me and goes, "Hey man, where them J's at? Where them J's at, man? Where them J's at?" And he just kept asking me. I was like, "Ah man, I didn't feel like wearing them today because I didn't feel like talking about it. You know, I wanted to forget it. I wanted to forget about it, and I wanted to suppress it way down deep into my soul. So, you know, hopefully it'll just go away, right?" And so he just kept asking. Finally, I just get this funny feeling in my chest and started getting angry, and I exploded like a volcano and like stood up from my desk and clenched my fist in front of him and yelled at him. I was like, "Hey, I didn't feel like wearing my J's, man. Chill out," you know. And he's like, "Bro, calm down, man. All I want to know where your J's are at, man. Chill out." You know, so, and so when I yelled, everybody looked at us, and someone grabbed me by the shoulder and said, "Calm down, Munoz. It's all good," you know. So I was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry," but I told him the story, and he pretty much, like, his face dropped, and he goes, "Man, I'm sorry." He put his arm around me and you know, and said, "I got your back." And I kind of shrugged him off. I said, "Man, you don't got my back, man. You're not gonna be around me 24/7. Like, you ain't got my back, man." And he looks up at me because he was very short. You know, he's shorter than me. And he goes, "Hey, you need to learn how to wrestle." I go, "What? Wrestle, man? You guys wear tight leotards and touch each other in funny places, man. I'm good with that." and he goes, "What? You think that's funny?" I go, No, man. That's just what you do, man. I'm good with that, homie. I'm gonna keep playing basketball and football." He goes, "You think that's funny, huh?" I go, No. He goes, "I bet you I could take you down in 10 seconds. I was like, "Nah, man. Dude, you're barely 100 pounds. I'm 150 pounds. Dude, there's no way you can take me down, right?" And so we go into the hallway, and he's with his other friends, right? We go into the hallway, and I break down in my stance, and I'm you know, wiggling my fingers like I'm gonna do magic to him or something, you know. And and I go, "What's up?" Yeah, I was like, "What's up, homie? What's up? What you got?" Right, dude. He shoots in 2 seconds flat, picks me up, slams me on my back, and I've been wearing a tight leotard ever since.